Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Nishit Kumar and with me is Renuka RS with the evening news. The headlines. In a major boost to country's infrastructure, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates several completed projects worth 2,960 crore rupees and lays foundation stones for new projects in Chennai worth 28,540 crore rupees. Prime Minister asks business management graduates to join their dreams with the country's economic development at the graduation ceremony of the Indian School of Business in Hyderabad. President Ramnath Kovind commends women's might in help fighting COVID-19 pandemic in the country, inaugurates National Conference of Women Legislators in Thiruvananthapuram. Prime Minister to inaugurate India's biggest drone festival, Bharat Drone Mahotsav 2022 tomorrow. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu to visit Gabon, Senegal and Qatar from the 30th of May to 7th of June. Fake reviews on e-commerce platform under the centre's radar, says Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. Government brings import of paper under the compulsory registration from the 1st of October. In Uttarakhand, political parties intensify election campaign for the Champawat Assembly by-election to be held on the 31st of May. In French Open, Indo-Dutch pair of Rohan Bopanna and Matve Middlecoop defeat A. Golubev and F. Martin in the second round of the men's doubles event, while the duo of Sania Mirza and Ivan Dodig defeat Lara Sigmund and Santiago Gonzalez in the mixed doubles. India trounces Indonesia 16-0 in the last group match of Asia Cup Hockey in Jakarta. And in IPL cricket, Royal Challengers Bangalore to face Rajasthan Royals in the second qualifier match at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad tomorrow. In a major boost to the country's infrastructure, Prime Minister Narendra Modi laid the foundation stone for 6 key projects worth 28,540 crore rupees at a function in Chennai a short while ago. He also dedicated to the nation 5 projects that have been completed at a cost of 2,960 crore rupees. The total expenditure on all the 11 projects is around 31,500 crore rupees. Some of the completed projects include the third broad gauge line connecting Tambaram and Chengalpattu in the periphery of Chennai. Another is the 75-kilometer long Madurai-Theni gauge conversion project that has been executed at a cost of over 500 crore rupees. He also laid the foundation stone for the ambitious Chennai-Bengaluru Expressway worth 14,870 crore rupees that covers parts of Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. Another major road project is the 21-kilometer long 4-lane double-decker elevated road connecting Chennai Port and Maduravoyal in the city that will be built at a cost of over 5,850 crore rupees. The Prime Minister also inaugurated the works on the redevelopment of the 5 railway stations at Chennai, Egmore, Rameshwaram, Madurai, Kattapadi and Kanyakumari at a cost of 1,800 crore rupees. The Prime Minister also handed over the keys of 1,152 houses constructed at a cost of 116 crore rupees as part of the Lighthouse project in Chennai under the urban component of the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana to the beneficiaries.
गरीबों के लिए, मध्यम वर्ग के लिए, घर बनाने के लिए नई टेक्नोलॉजी देश को मिल रही है। ये लाइट हाउस प्रोजेक्ट आधुनिक टेक्नोलॉजी और इनोवेटिव प्रोसेस से बनेंगे। चेन्नई में अमेरिका और फिनलैंड की प्री कास्ट कंक्रीट सिस्टम का उपयोग करेंगे, जिससे घर तेजी से भी बनेगा और सस्ता भी होगा।
While lauding players for their performance at Deaf Olympics, Mr. Modi said the players from Tamil Nadu made excellent contribution in recently concluded games.
In every field, someone or the other from Tamil Nadu is always excelling. Just recently, I hosted the Indian Deaf Olympics contingent at my residence. You would be aware that this time it was India's best performance in the tournament. out of the 16 medals we have won, youngsters from Tamil Nadu had a role in 6 of those medals. This is among the best contributions to the team.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has asked Indian School of Business and young business graduates to promote and find solutions to expand small businesses so that Atmanirbhar Bharat can be realized. Addressing the graduation ceremony at the ISB in Hyderabad, the Prime Minister asked the young business management graduates to join their dreams with that of the country, especially when the country is writing a new chapter in its economic development.
आज जब देश आर्थिक विकास के नए अध्याय को लिख रहा है, तो हमें एक और बात याद रखनी होगी. हमें छोटे व्यापारियों, स्मॉल बिजनेस का भी उतना ही ध्यान रखना होगा. हमें उन्हें ज्यादा बड़े प्लेटफॉर्म देने होंगे. ग्रो करने के लिए ज्यादा बेहतर मौके देने होंगे. हमें उन्हें देश विदेश में नए नए बाजारों से जोड़ने में मदद करनी होगी. हमें उन्हें ज्यादा से ज्यादा टेक्नोलॉजी से जोड़ना होगा. और इसी बात पर आईएसबी जैसे संस्थान, आईएसबी के स्टूडेंट्स की भूमिका बहुत अहम हो जाती है.
The Prime Minister said promoting small business means promoting crores of people and the country as a whole. He further asked them to connect with technology and said students from institutes like ISB can play a very vital role in this. The Prime Minister asked the ISB and the management graduates to study the aspirational districts. He said districts that were called backward earlier are now called aspirational districts to create a new wave of development and confidence in the district.
बैकवर्ड डिस्ट्रिक्ट कहते थे, हमने कहा बैकवर्ड नहीं है, ये एस्पिरेशनल डिस्ट्रिक्ट है. हमने उसको एस्पिरेशनल घोषित किया और हमने तय किया कि हम इन जिलों में विकास की आकांक्षा जगाएंगे, एक नई भूख जगाएंगे. देश के एफिशिएंट युवा अधिकारियों को चिन्हित करके इन जिलों में भेजा गया. इन जिलों में होने वाले हर काम को विशेष तौर पर मॉनिटर किया गया. आज स्थिति ये है कि इनमें से कई जिले आज देश के दूसरे बेहतर समझे जाने वाले जिलों से कहीं ज्यादा अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं.
Stating that the economic landscape of the country is changing, Mr. Modi said our businesses are now creating lakhs of job opportunities. He stressed on the need to take small businesses and enterprises along this journey of Atmanirbhar Bharat.
President Ramnath Kovind has recalled the inspiring contributions of women who made relentless fight for liberation from colonialism and said India's freedom struggle has laid the foundation for gender equality in the country. The President was addressing a 2-day National Women Legislators Conference 2022 in Thiruvananthapuram today. He said women are entering more challenging spheres of life and as a powerful force, women have shown their might in help fighting out the COVID-19 pandemic in the country.
Women are shattering the glass ceiling in one domain after another. The latest is their enhanced role in the armed forces. Their numbers are rising in the traditional male bastions of science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and management, collectively known as STEM. There must have been more women than men among the corona warriors who guarded the nation during those months of the crisis.
Hailing Kerala's women empowerment initiatives, Mr. Kovind noted that of the 15 women the Constituent Assembly had, 3 were from Kerala. He contended that women have always participated in the freedom struggle of the country, starting from the 19th century. The President said the non-cooperation movement and the Quit India movement have had remarkable participation by women under the able guidance of Gandhiji. He spoke in length about the contribution made by Kasturba Gandhi, Sarojini Naidu and Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay. He also mentioned the contribution made by Bhikaji Kama, Lakshmi Saigal and Hansaben Jivraj Mehta. Mr. Kovind also said that India accomplished a rare distinction of offering universal adult franchise to all its adult citizens, including women. Women not only voted in elections but also contested, and 24 of them were elected to the first Lok Sabha in 1952, he added.
Women not only voted in elections but even contested, and 24 of them were elected to the first Lok Sabha in 1952. Inspired by our ideas and values, we have gone further during these 7 decades and have provided for 50% reservation for women in local bodies. Calling it women's empowerment is a misnomer, I think, because women are powerful anyway.
Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla will address the valedictory function tomorrow. The President, who arrived in Thiruvananthapuram yesterday on a two-day visit, will leave for Pune this evening. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate India's biggest drone festival, Bharat Drone Mahotsav 2022, tomorrow at 10 a.m. at Pragati Maidan in New Delhi. The Prime Minister will interact with Kisan drone pilots. He will witness open-air drone demonstrations and interact with startups in the Drone Exhibition Centre.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu will be on a three-nation tour to Gabon, Senegal and Qatar from the 30th of May to the 7th of June. He will be accompanied by a high-level delegation including Minister of State for Health and Family Welfare Dr. Bharati Pawar and three members of Parliament Sushil Kumar Modi, Vijay Pal Singh Tomar and P. Ravindranath. The External Affairs Minister said this will be the first visit from India at the level of Vice President to all the three countries. This will also be the first ever high-level visit from India to Gabon and to Senegal. The Vice President's visit to Gabon and to Senegal will add momentum to India's engagement with Africa and also emphasize its commitment to the African continent. The visit to Qatar, as both sides prepare to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations, will further enhance the bilateral ties. A number of bilateral documents are expected to be concluded during the visit to the three countries. The Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution today said that the fake reviews on e-commerce platforms are under the centre's radar. The Department of Consumer Affairs will be holding a virtual meeting along with various stakeholders tomorrow to gauge the magnitude of fake reviews on e-commerce platforms which mislead consumers into buying online services or products and to prepare a roadmap ahead. The discussions will be broadly based on the impact of fake and misleading reviews on consumers and possible measures to prevent such anomaly.
The government has brought import of paper under compulsory registration from the 1st of October. The import policy of major paper products has been amended from free to free subject to compulsory registration under Paper Import Monitoring System. A notification to this effect has been issued by Directorate General of Free Trade yesterday. In Uttarakhand, all political parties have intensified the election campaign for the Champawat Assembly by-election. Chief Minister and BJP candidate Pushkar Singh Dhami addressed public meetings in Tanakpur and Banbasa today. Mr. Dhami said the by-election on the 31st of May should be considered as a festival of democracy. Meanwhile, by offering prayers at Sharda Ghat in Tanakpur and paying obeisance at Gurdwara Sri Guru Singh Sabha, Mr. Dhami prayed for the prosperity of the people and the progress of the state. Vinay Kumar Saxena took oath as Lieutenant Governor of Delhi today. Acting Chief Justice of Delhi Court Vipin Sanghi administered the oath of office and secrecy to Mr. Saxena at a function organized at the Raj Niwas. He is the 22nd Lieutenant Governor of Delhi. Speaking to the media, Mr. Saxena said he would work as a local guardian for every citizen of Delhi rather than the Lieutenant Governor. He thanked President Ramnath Kovind, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah for entrusting him with the responsibility of the Lieutenant Governor and said he would do his best to fulfill this responsibility. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. In a major boost to country's infrastructure, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates several completed projects worth 2,960 crore rupees and lays foundation stones for new projects in Chennai worth 28,540 crore rupees. Prime Minister asks business management graduates to join their dreams with country's economic development at graduation ceremony of Indian School Business in Hyderabad. President Ramnath Kovind commends women's might in help fighting COVID-19 pandemic in the country, inaugurates National Conference of Women Legislators in Thiruvananthapuram. Prime Minister to inaugurate India's biggest drone festival, Bharat Drone Mahotsav 2022 tomorrow. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu to visit Gabon, Senegal and Qatar from 30th of May to 7th of June. Fake reviews on e-commerce platforms under centre's radar, says Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. Government brings import of paper under compulsory registration from 1st of October. In Uttarakhand, political parties intensify election campaign for Champawat Assembly by-election to be held on 31st of May. In French Open, Indo-Dutch pair of Rohan Bopanna and Matwei Middelkoop defeat A. Goluev and F. Martin in second round of men's doubles event, while duo of Sania Mirza and Ivan Dodek defeats Laura Sigmund and Santiago Gonzalez in mixed doubles. India trounced Indonesia 16-0 in last group match of Asia Cup hockey in Jakarta. And in IPL cricket, Royal Challengers Bangalore to face Rajasthan Royals in second qualifier match at Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad tomorrow. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर
8700014242।
Welcome back. You are tuned to the evening news on All India Radio. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, under the aegis of Ministry of Science and Technology, conducted the two-day Lavender Festival at Bhadarwa town in Dora district under the Union government's Aroma mission to promote One Product, One District initiative. On the second day today, Minister for Science and Technology and MOS in the Prime Minister's office, Dr. Jitendra Singh, formally inaugurated the Lavender Festival by releasing 1,000 purple air balloons. Speaking on this occasion, Dr. Singh said that by choosing lavender for One District, One Product initiative of the Union government and by organizing Maiden Lavender Festival in India at Bhadarwa, this valley has become the capital of lavender. The farmers and startup owners expressed their gratitude to Dr. Singh for promoting lavender cultivation in Bhadarwa at national and international level by terming it as the Purple Revolution in India. And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
In today's episode, we remember transnational freedom fighter Champakaraman Pillai, who died on the 26th of May 1934. Pillai was the forerunner of Ras Bihari Bose and Subhash Chandra Bose in organizing an Indian army abroad to strike against the imperialist British force at home. Pillai is credited with coining of the salutation and slogan Jai Hind.
Champakaraman Pillai was born on the 15th of September 1891 at Cochin in Kerala. Even during his student days, he was quite attracted to books and periodicals preaching nationalism and heard the speeches of all political leaders who were in the forefront of the freedom movement. The personality of Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak and his writings in his journal Kesari turned Champakaraman into a patriot and revolutionary. When Tilak was arrested and sentenced to transportation, Champakaraman was deeply moved and took a pledge to dedicate his life at the altar of the motherland, fighting for her freedom. Champakaraman came into contact with an Englishman who was working as a spy for the Germans, and with the latter's help he left the shores of India when he was just a lad of 17 years.
Champakaraman first went to Colombo and from there to Switzerland. At Zurich, he completed his education and took a doctorate in engineering. When the First World War broke out, Pillai, with the help of the German embassy, formed the International Pro-India Committee in 1914, with Zurich as its headquarters and himself as the president. Pillai moved to Berlin in October 1914 and started the Indian Independence Committee. Many prominent Indian revolutionaries abroad, including Lala Hardayal, Taraknath Das, Barkatullah, Dr. Chandrakant Chakravarti, Dr. Bhupendranath Dutt, Dr. Prabhakar, Virendra Chattopadhyay, Birendra Sarkar and Hirambalal Gupta joined him to work out the program.
Champakaraman Pillai won the confidence of the Germans and led the operations of German Navy in the Indian Ocean. The British government announced a reward of £1 lakh to anyone who would capture Champakaraman Pillai and hand him over. But the brave son of India always eluded them.
Pillai founded the Indian National Volunteer Corps during the First World War and prescribed military uniform and discipline to the volunteers. In July 1914, Pillai gave a message from Berlin to the Indian soldiers that it was time for them to rise in revolt and fight the British for the emancipation of the motherland. Later, in 1919, when Champakaraman Pillai met Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose in Vienna, he explained his plan of action to Netaji Subhash. It is believed that Subhash Chandra Bose chose the path shown by Champakaraman Pillai and fulfilled his dream by organizing the Indian National Army during the Second World War.
Champakaraman Pillai had the privilege of being Minister of the Provisional Government of India set up in Afghanistan in December 1915 with Raja Mahendra Pratap Singh of Kabul as President. However, the defeat of the Germans in the war shattered their hopes. After the First World War ended, the relationship between the Germans and self-respecting Indian revolutionaries was strained.
He fell a victim to the wrath of the Nazis, as it is believed that he was slowly poisoned by them. Pillai died on May the 26th, 1934. His wife, Lakshmi Bai, underwent indescribable sufferings as the Nazis made her life miserable. But she preserved Pillai's ashes, his diary and secret documents. As per Pillai's last wish, Lakshmi Bai brought back his ashes to India, where they were ceremonially immersed in Kanyakumari with full state honours. All India Radio salutes the great freedom fighter.
We also remember independence activist Muhammad Yusuf Naqshbandi, who was martyred on the 26th of May 1946. Born in 1923 in Srinagar, Jammu and Kashmir, Naqshbandi was a committed political worker. He actively joined the political movement for responsible government in Jammu and Kashmir in 1946. Naqshbandi was killed at the Khankai Maula in Srinagar on the 26th of May 1946 in the state army's firing on a procession he joined to protest against the Maharaja's tyrannical rule. We salute the great son of the soil.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
In Uttarakhand, Char Dham and Hemkund Yatra are going on smoothly. So far, more than 10 lakh devotees have visited Char Dham and Hemkund in the state this year. The process of arrival of pilgrims from various parts of the country and abroad is continuing. In view of the increasing number of passengers, the administration is engaged in expanding and improving the necessary arrangements. Over 192 crore 82 lakh doses of COVID vaccines have been administered in the country under the nationwide vaccination drive so far. More than 13,13,000 COVID vaccine doses were administered to the eligible beneficiaries yesterday. Meanwhile, the country has reported 2,628 new cases during the last 24 hours.
The Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, DRI, has recovered 52 kilograms of cocaine, estimated to be valued at over 500 crore rupees in the international illicit market for an import consignment. On the basis of extensive data analysis and field surveillance, intelligence was gathered by the DRI that certain consignments being imported from Iran were likely to contain narcotic drugs. In French Open tennis, the Indo-Dutch pair of Rohan Bopanna and Matve Middlecoop today defeated A. Goludev and P. Martin in the second round of the men's double event by 6-4, 6-3. In the mixed doubles, 10th-seeded Sania Mirza with her Croatian partner Ivan Dodig defeated German-Mexican pair of Lara Sigmund and Santiago Gonzalez in the first round by 7-6, 6-2.
In Asia Cup hockey tournament, India qualified for the Super 4 stage with a huge 16-0 win over host Indonesia at the GPK Sports Complex Hockey Stadium in Jakarta. Defending champions India needed to beat host Indonesia by a huge margin for advancing to the knockout stage of the Asia Cup. India conceded a last-minute goal to draw 1-1 against Pakistan in their tournament opener before going down to Japan 2-5. In IPL cricket, Royal Challengers Bangalore defeated Lucknow Super Giants by 14 runs in the playoff eliminator at Eden Gardens, Kolkata last night. With this, Bangalore booked a place in the qualifier 2, which they will play against Rajasthan Royals at Narendra Modi Stadium, Ahmedabad tomorrow.
The Sensex and the Nifty today surged around 1% amid mixed global cues. A report from the business desk.
The Sensex climbed 503 points to close at 54,253, while the Nifty rose 144 points to finish at 16,170. In the forex market, the rupee today weakened 5 paise against the US dollar. The rupee closed at 77 rupees and 58 paise against the US currency. Gold was trading at 50,760 rupees per 10 grams. Silver prices were trading almost unchanged at 61,540 rupees per kilogram, and global crude oil prices rose more than 0.5% in intraday trade. Brent crude was trading at $114.75 per barrel. This is Lalema Aneja Dang, AIR News.
Now let us have a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital, Delhi, is likely to have a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. The temperature will hover between 26 and 39 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky. Chennai is likely to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Kolkata is expected to have partly cloudy sky. Srinagar will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Jammu will have mainly clear sky. Leh and Gilgit will have partly cloudy sky. Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Visakhapatnam will have thunderstorm. Hyderabad and Tiruvananthapuram is expected to have generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Bengaluru will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Guwahati, Shillong, Itanagar and Gangtok will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Imphal, Aizawl, Kohima are expected to have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Agartala is expected to have generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. In a major boost to the country's infrastructure, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates several completed projects worth 2,960 crore rupees and lays foundation stones for new projects in Chennai worth 28,540 crore rupees. Prime Minister asks business management graduates to join their dreams with the country's economic development at the graduation ceremony of the Indian School of Business in Hyderabad. President Ramnath Kovind commends women's might in help fighting COVID-19 pandemic in the country, inaugurates National Conference of Women Legislators in Tiruvananthapuram. Prime Minister to inaugurate India's biggest drone festival, Bharat Drone Mahotsav 2022 tomorrow. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu to visit Gabon, Senegal and Qatar from the 30th of May to the 7th of June. Fake reviews on e-commerce platforms under the centre's radar, says the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. Government brings import of paper under the compulsory registration from the 1st of October. In Uttarakhand, political parties intensify election campaign for Champawat Assembly by-election to be held on the 31st of May. In French Open, Indo-Dutch pair of Rohan Bopanna and Matve Middlecoop defeat A. Goludev and F. Martin in the second round of the men's doubles event, while the duo of Sania Mirza and Ivan Dodig defeats Lara Sigmund and Santiago Gonzalez in the mixed doubles. India trounced Indonesia 16-0 in the last group match of the Asia Cup Hockey in Jakarta. And in IPL cricket, Royal Challengers Bangalore to face Rajasthan Royals in the second qualifier match at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad tomorrow. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.